welcome to Oasis Scents. I'm Ellie and today I'm showing you the Shadowfold inspired cold process soap. This one was scented in tobacco caramel and golden pear and white rose. I think that's the name of the fragrance, from Candle Creation. The tobacco caramel is from Zen Aroma. And I used both black mica powder from Mica World and black Brazilian clay from Pure Nature for this one. I don't have much to say about it other than I just wanted to make a soap for July. I always do a fun theme because it's my birthday month. And this July I am doing No Mourners, No Funerals, which is coincidentally the tattoo I have on my body, but also inspired by Six of Crows or the Grishaverse by Lee Bardugo. So this soap is not particularly inspired by the Six of Crows. It is more, Shadow and Bone, but I wanted to do a fun soap this month. I love making soap and it's not a month celebrating my birthday without that. So I decided to make one using black Brazilian clay. I wanted to do something different, and on top there is a mica drizzle using rubbing alcohol and mica powder. So I'll show you that later, but anyway, here's me mixing the soap and I will come back in once there's more interesting stuff to say.
My heart, it started racing. Crowd across the way, flowers on your face, and then from the 80s. Someone keeps blocking my way. I can't feel farther away. Wait on a moment to say that I want you. You know that I want you.
Once I had mixed my soap to a light trace, I then separated it into different containers for different colours. I had pre-mixed the two smaller ones of the clay with oil, but I didn't pre-mix the big one obviously because I wanted a darker colour. I'd pre-portioned these, so then the smaller ones were a lighter colour, and they actually came out too light, so I added more clay, and that's also when I actually added in the mica. I wasn't originally planning on the mica. It was a last minute addition, but I realised that the mica would get the darker colour I wanted, and if you know me, you know I have a habit of under colouring my soaps, as in they're too light and they're not what I want. So this one was a bit of trial and error, but it was really fun to just experiment and do things on a whim. That's how I work as a soap maker. So once I had mixed all of the colours in and I went back and added in the mica, which you can see me doing now, I then mixed in the fragrance and then I poured it into the mould. So I'll come back, more voiceover in a second.
Lost in a daze, I caught your sudden gaze, and time it started racing. But moments tend to fade, and you're too far away from me to get my name in. Someone keeps blocking my way.
So this one was a drop swirl. I wasn't actually sure what swirl I was going to do until I'd added the fragrance, because I wasn't sure how well this fragrance behaved. I'd read the reviews online, but I never really trust anyone else. And this was actually a pretty good fragrance mix. It didn't speed up trace too much, so I decided to do a drop swirl. I would have done it in the pot swirl if the colours were more different, but they weren't. So I started off by adding my main colour, and then I went down the middle, back and forth with one of the colours. This was the mid black, I would say, and then I went down the sides, down the left and the right side with the lightest black, which they are all very similar, and you cannot really tell a difference in the finished soap, but there is a slight difference, and I think it gives the wispiness. Once I added all the soap, I went back over on the top. This sort of stayed on the top layer because it started to thicken up by now. Yeah, and then scraped everything out and then added the mica drizzle on top.
Your way towards mine.
my mica drizzle ratio was literally just made up on the spot. I think it was like half a teaspoon of mica powder, which was a gold, I think. Just the gold is, I actually don't know the name of it, but a gold one from Mica World as well. And then some isopropyl alcohol or rubbing alcohol. I then used a pipette to drizzle it in a sort of motion. You can see me doing it here. And then you'll see in a second I used a little popsicle stick to then swirl it. I didn't have anything else on hand to do it, so this is just what I used. And then at the end of it, I went back in and added in some more mica to parts that I felt were lacking. You can see a few spots that weren't as gold as I wanted. In hindsight, I probably should have gone with a silver, more like Alina's Powers than the gold, but I just really like the way black and gold looks together. And I thought it looked really cool in my head, so that's what I planned for when I was designing this soap. Hopefully I remember to stick up a thingy of how the soap was originally planned, but we'll see if I actually do that. And then I went on to cutting the soap after leaving it for about just over 24 hours actually. I happened to be sick the day after I had filmed this. I wasn't feeling too well, so I didn't work at my other job, and I managed to get to cut it on the day I wanted to. Here's me being in the frame for the cutting. This is my multi-bar cutter. I got it from Soapish, I'm pretty sure. I don't use it enough, honestly. It was not a bad investment. I love it, but it definitely was an investment I probably couldn't afford at the time, and I don't use it enough. I just want to make more soap though. And that's how the swirl came out. So I made sure to clean in between because I made 2 batches of this, and then I cut the other bars. Ended up with, must have been 20 bars in total. I'm pretty sure this does 10 bars, or it does 9 bars, but it's a lot of bars, really good size. I do like how uniform these bars are, and I do love my multi-bar cutter. I just don't use it enough to justify really having it, but maybe in the future I'll make more soap. Here is me showing you the finished soap in just a second. I've got some more close-ups. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you like and you subscribe to the channel. I do weekly videos on soap things, Artist Alley, and all good other things. Thanks for watching. Ka kite anō. See you next time.
My love language is your time and attention. Won't you give some of it to me?